report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and Heather D. Tune in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Tune in to the fish report.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Fish Report Live. I'm Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. We're your host. Thanks for waking up with us. Back in the sound room on this Thanksgiving Day morning, we got TK and Heavy D. Looking forward to talking to them a little bit later in the program. And out in Studio R, a couple turkeys out there with Covey and Kearns. And Ken, another fun morning on FRL on this first show of our winter sports season.
Yes, it is, Craig. Really looking forward to our show. Really looking forward to the winter sports season, Craig, covering basketball, of course, and it's hard to believe, Craig, it's Thanksgiving morning. You know, my turkey is in the smoker. I got a good whiff of it on my walk over here this morning, and man, did it smell good. I can't hardly wait to take that big bird out of there, and there's going to be a lot of football today, a lot of basketball. Watch that Duke-Gonzaga game last night. That was really exciting, got me fired up for the basketball season, and this morning's interview, Craig, is going to be with Coach Andy Timmerman, head coach of the Rouge girls basketball program. He's had a lot of success in just a few years, Craig. He's young, he's energetic, and he's full of basketball knowledge, and he's going to have the Lady Raiders as one of the top teams in the area once again this year. Yeah, got a chance to talk to Coach Timmerman last Saturday night at the Russia Athletic Boosters event over there at St. Remy Hall, and I know he's excited about the interview here this morning, so looking forward to talking to him. Like you said, been awfully successful his first two seasons, and I think he's counting on some more of that again this year. But, Ken, let's get right to it. As you said, we still have some fall sports to talk about. When we left our fall sports season a couple weeks ago, we thought we were done with fall sports, but of course we got football going on, and for that we're going to go out to Studio R, check in with Covey and Kearns. And guys, talked to someone last night that said they were a fan of the show, that said they were looking forward to hearing what Covey and Kearns had to say about one of them state semi games, I think the Laramie game in particular. But guys, we're still playing some fall sports, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, and it's not really shocking where we're at. I picked Marion to go in D6. They ran over the field completely, pretty much, and they had a 21-0 lead against Coldwater right away, and really surprised me how badly they beat Coldwater. But Marion impressive, and I had Minster in D7. Minster lost to Crestview in the second round. Laramie took advantage of that, played a real nice game against Crestview, put up 48 points, won pretty comfortably, and are on their first state semifinal appearance in football history in the school.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I was kind of surprised by Laramie getting through Crestview. I thought it'd be a little closer of a game, but Laramie kind of ran away with it in the end. I forget what the final score was, but it was by maybe a score or two. And I also picked Minster to win that D7 regional and make it, but Laramie surprised me definitely. I just wasn't ready for them to explode offensively.
Guys, what do you feel about the Laramie-Macomb game? Covey, Kearns, both. I want to get a little take from both of you on this. The Fort Laramie Redskins, they're just loaded with athletic ability, and they've had an unbelievable fall season. They had, they won state in baseball in the summer. They come back, they go to state in golf. They win state in cross country. They're going to state in football. What is it with the Fort Laramie Redskins, Covey, and what do you think of their chances against Macomb?
I think they have really good chances against Macomb. I think since they're a higher rated team in the state, they should have like a Vegas line favorite of maybe a point and a half or so. And I'm going to pick the Redskins to win this in a tight, closely contested 28-21 ball game. I really think the skill players are going to be a big asset. You see Carter Mesher as quick as lightning there. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Their defense is really important. Max Hoing, only a sophomore, won Division VII Defensive Player of the Year, linebacker, big boy. I talked to some coaches over there in Laramie, and they were telling me about some of the players, and they're really excited about the year talent, but they're really built around their senior leadership and their skill position players, even though they have some good sophomore talent in Max Hoing and Colin Moore, their quarterback.
Yeah, I'd agree. Both teams have great returning stars, especially skill positions, like you said. Carter Mesher, Devin Warman, Carson Moore, and Max Hoing, like you said. Both these teams have a lot of good skilled players returning, but I'd take Lormy in a shootout, probably even a higher score, maybe 35-21. I think Lormy's just going to run over him because Macomb lacks depth. They only have like 25 guys total, so I think they'll just run them off the field.
I think it'll be a close game, but next up we got Marion versus Seneca East. This is Seneca East's first state semifinal appearances, just like the Redskins of Laramie. Marion, they really rolled through that D7 or D6 region there. Really surprised me. Coach Goodwin's guys know when it's October and November to turn on the Jets. The Nick Tangeman, Nate Bruns connection has really been solid all season. I expect them to ride that, and I expect them to win a right round, 3 touchdowns or so. I'm going to expect it to be a 35-14 ball game here. Just that offense, that Nick Tangeman, Nate Bruns connection is just the X factor there, and I expect Marion to get back to state for maybe the 7th, 8th year in a row. Fun fact, I was at the last game that Marion lost that was not a state finals, and I think I was a 5th grader.
Yeah, those two names are pretty important. Nate Bruns and Nick Tangeman, that's 6'6" to 6'4", and that's almost unguardable, especially at this level of play in high school. If you can find out some way to guard that, then you got a chance. But with that play, I mean, they can pull that out at any time. I think he hit him 9 times against Coldwater for a score. I think Nick himself had like 136 yards. So if they can stop that, they got a chance, but I don't think they got the answer for them.
You know what? I agree with you guys back there in the studio are, and I'll bet you Coach Guttemiller is just chomping at the bit to get his basketball players, but he's willing to wait a couple more weeks because he's coming off himself a state championship in basketball with those guys. And like you said, Kearns are 6'4", 6'6", extremely athletic and just tough to defend.
All right, great stuff, guys, and hopefully we're talking fall sports again next week as both those teams look forward to advancing to the state finals. And, again, thanks for that, guys. Ken, Marion Local used to that Thanksgiving Day practice. They've been doing it for years now. Fort Laramie, not so much. They get to do it this year. But, you just mentioned Coach Guttemiller and having to wait for his players. Coach Britton facing a little bit of that. How do you respond to something like that? You know what?
I'm sure they're happy for the kids. I'm sure, like I said, they're chomping at the bit to get their kids. But, they're willing to wait another 3 weeks, And yeah, they're going to get off to a slow start on the basketball court. But, they'll be playing a lot of games in January and February. I can promise you that. But I'm sure the Redskins are excited for a Thanksgiving practice, Craig. I'm sure with the support they've got over there in Fort Laramie, I'm sure they got plenty of people willing to make them a big turkey breakfast over there today, or a turkey lunch over there today after their morning practice. So good luck to both those teams, and, I'm sure they'll do very well.
Yeah, fun talking football. Hope we're talking about it again next week. But I'm ready to talk some basketball. But we're going to take a short break. Stay right there. When we come back, we're going to talk some basketball, including that interview with Russia coach Andy Timmerman.
My father said it's time to be home, man, but don't go and tall in the motherland. You were born with heart, raised on pride. This vinegar runs through your bloodline. Oh, 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 bloody, bruised and slain. Oh, 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 pride in this name. Well, the skies run deep within this blue. False truths devised by foolish views. Religious divide among the may create civil war on my family land. Oh, 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 bloody, bruised and slain. Oh, 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 pride in this name.
And welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, we were still talking some fall sports, talking a little football. Going to change gears now and talk some winter sports, particularly girls basketball. And Ken, I'm excited to talk about girls basketball, but let's take a quick look at last year. I know some of the viewers out there, including myself, kind of forget what happened last year. Let's take a look at some of the top returnees on the girls' side coming back this season in the SCAL.
Well, Craig, like you said, there were some great young players last year in the SCAL, and probably the biggest returning player, the key returning player for anybody is Larissa Poling, the senior from Russia. Extremely athletic. She had a great year in volleyball. So Larissa's back for the Raiders. Fort Loramie, they're going to be led. One of their leaders is going to be junior Marissa Myring, excellent basketball player over there for the Redskins. Jenna Crononier from Russia had a great year last year, Craig. She gets to the hoop awfully well with that left hand. Really like watching her on the floor. She's a leader. She's a scorer. And, Craig, she's a winner as well. So you got Jess Monier from Houston, Bree Cuck from over there at Anna, as well as Ella Dosek. And then from Farallon, you got Lauren Dungus. And a girl, Craig, that I really like, just a junior yet, extremely quick with the basketball. That's Fort Loramie junior Taylor Ratterman. A lot of fun to watch on the court as well. So some great talent returning in the Shelby County League, and it'll make things very interesting. I talked to Coach Timmerman the other night. He actually told me that Jackson Center has a player playing with him this year who is extremely athletic, that's been playing volleyball for him for years. Didn't play basketball. Didn't play basketball earlier, but now she is playing basketball, and that's their volleyball star. What's her name? From Jackson Center.
Oh, Kessler, right?
Yeah, Raquel Kessler. There you
Absolutely.
go. So she's going to make a big difference for that Jackson Center team.
Well, we'll get to see them soon enough, and awfully excited about that. And Ken, as you mentioned, Coach Timmerman, he's our next guest, getting set to open his third season as the head coach of the Russia girls program. So far, in 2 years, he has an overall record of 41-12, including 19-5 in the always competitive Shelby County Athletic League. We welcome to the show now Andy Timmerman. Coach, happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, too, and thanks for having me.
Well, listen, there's a lot of excitement with the holiday in the air. You're getting set to open the season there tomorrow on Friday against your traditional opener there, the Sydney Yellow Jackets. Let me ask you, Coach, do you get a chance to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner today, or are you over in the corner there drawing up half-court offenses and press breakers and things like that?
I know the season, excited about the season starting and the game tomorrow, but I don't get a ton of time spent in the wintertime with family and friends, so I try to, as much as possible, when I do get that time, I try to put the basketball aside a little bit and be present in the moment with them.
Well, listen, I got an opportunity to watch your girls play the other night in a preseason scrimmage there against Franklin Monroe, and I noticed you rotate a lot of girls in and out in the scrimmage, at least that I watched. Coach, tell me, what is the focus of those scrimmages for you?
Well, this year, it's kind of like last year as well. We got a late start with Russia volleyball having another successful season. So trying to get their basketball legs back under them, and so not playing them too much. I don't want to stress anything out physically for any of the girls, but it's just trying to find our identity and see who can play where. Just it's a new season and got different girls taking different roles. So just trying to find out where everybody fits.
Coach, good morning. This is Ken Francis. Appreciate you getting up early on Thanksgiving morning to be on our show with us. Let's talk a little bit about your personnel, primarily your returning personnel from last year. And you're led by two of the best in the county this year, and that's seniors Larissa Poling and Jenna Crononier. If you're going to start a foundation, that's a great foundation to start with those two players. Tell us about their role on your team this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think those two players are definitely a great foundation to any team. But I think they're both 3-year letter winners. I think the biggest thing is they're seniors now. They're going to have to take a different role in the leadership-wise. So I think how they lead by example and, vocally as well, I think that's the biggest change for them this year.
Coach, besides Poling and Crononier, let's talk about the rest of your roster. Fill us in on some of the key players that you're counting on this coming season.
I think we have more depth than we have in my previous 2 years, which kind of goes back to rotating some girls. I think we have more to rotate, which is great for our program. We have a couple more seniors, Shay Borchers and Katie Hewing. And then we have a few juniors, Jessica York, Olivia Mormon, and Andrea Monin. And then we have 3 sophomores, Ashley Scott, Kendall Monin, and Caitlin Monin. So I think all of them bring a different aspect, whether they're guard or they're post, but I think just the depth overall and competing for their positions is it's been very beneficial so far this year for us.
Coach, tomorrow night you take on the Sydney Yellow Jackets. It'll be the 18th consecutive year that Russia and Sydney have opened up the girls' basketball season. It's always a fun game. There's always a lot of excitement in the air. There's been some great battles over the years, some at Sydney, some at Russia. And let's talk about your opponent. First game right out of the gate, how do you prepare for a team that you've never seen or that you haven't seen play yet this year? Do you go off of last year's, game, or, how do you prepare for this big game tomorrow night?
Yeah, you can go off of last year a little bit, just depending on if they have the same coaching staff or if they have the same personnel. I know there's a lot of different players for them, so it's hard to go based off of last year on personnel-wise. So there's not a lot of film, not a lot of scouting or anything like that on them. So you just got to go kind of work on your own. You can't focus on the opponent nearly as much, so you got to focus on yourself and playing hard and trying to fix those small things and correct those as you go in the game. Make some game adjustments.
Coach, let me sidetrack here for a second. This is Craig again, but one girl that you had to prepare for a couple of years ago over there at Sydney was their 6'3" center over there in Selena Taborn, and actually she plays down at Division I Furman University down there in South Carolina. Coach, have you had a chance? Just asking, have you had a chance to see what she's been doing these last couple of years? She's playing awfully well right now.
No, I haven't seen a lot, but I did see several different clips of her, and the way she ran the floor was just a lot different than she did in high school, and just seemed like she was able to run the floor as a college floor a lot different, better shape than what I saw her in high school, and it really impressed me and surprised me of how different she was playing versus only a year ago. And I think getting into college, and it's a different atmosphere, so I think seems like she adjusted very well.
Yeah, those college coaches have a tendency to do that, get you in a little bit better shape, especially playing at Division I level. I wanted to ask one more question. Ken was asking about the rest of your roster, and 2 seniors that you graduated last year, of course, were Whitney Plyman and Cameo Wilson. How do you replace a couple girls like that meant so much to the program?
We have some underclassmen that are going to have to fill some big shoes. I know specifically Whitney. She was a great defender and our point guard, so we're going to have to find somebody that can match her intensity, because I know she frustrated a lot of other teams and a lot of point guards, and I know there's most of the teams are glad that she's gone. So we just had to find somebody to fill that, and I know Cameo was a very vocal leader, and she knew X's and O's and was able to help out all post players, guards. She was a leader on the floor and helped everybody get in the right position.
Well, Coach, one more question before we let you go. But, since you haven't even played your first game yet, obviously I want to jump to the end of the season and talk about that. But I couldn't help but notice your very last game on the regular schedule is Tri-Village on February 14th. And to me personally, that I was looking at that, I just thought, boy, that seems noticeably close to tournament time. And that's also the team that I know a lot of Russia fans at least know that knocked you out of the tournament last year, the district tournament. Is all that just a coincidence that they showed up at the end of the schedule?
Yeah, it is. We had just some scheduling issues, and we had them towards the end of the season, even further than what we did last year. So I knew it was going to be towards the end, maybe even the last game, but just scheduling conflicts and things had to get moved. And if we wanted to get a 22nd game, that was about the only date that would have worked. So we went with it, and I think that's a great opponent at the end of the season, at any time, but especially at the end of the season to prepare you for tournament time, because they are definitely an exceptional team and they have a lot of talent over there.
Listen, Coach, we really appreciate you getting up early on Thanksgiving morning here, joining us on Fish Report Live. I know you got a big day ahead of you. You probably got a turkey in the oven right now because, I know you got a wife and a little one at home there, so you got to take care of them. But, go Raiders. Good luck this year. You've done a great job in your years at Russia, and we're proud to have you over here as part of our team. And, you do a great job with the whole program. So, good job. Keep it up, and good luck tomorrow night against the Yellow Jackets of Sydney.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you guys do for the local sports.
Thanks,
Coach.
All right, and that was the head coach of the Lady Raiders, Andy Timmerman. Again, they open their season tomorrow night, again, taking on the Sydney Yellow Jackets at Sydney. And Fish Report will actually be calling that game. Covey and myself will be up there in the Crow's Nest calling all the action and looking forward to a fun one, of course. All right, Ken, well, let's get back to the sound room and check in with the TK and Heavy D, I guess, here this morning on this Thanksgiving morning. And guys, happy Thanksgiving.
Morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
Morning.
Well, listen, good to be back in the studio talking winter sports now. TK, I know we always go to you for the SCAL Player of the Week. A little bit thin on sports here this past week, but tell me what you got.
Well, I was thinking about this for a while, and I found myself a little bit of an out. At least for now, it's not Player of this week; it's Player of the Week. So, with all the signings we've had, and one person that we overlooked throughout the season of volleyball is Jackson Center's Raquel Kessler, who was first team Shelby County Player of the Year 2 times in a row. She was named All-Ohio Division IV Volleyball, and she is now committed to University of Missouri at St. Louis. She will play for the Titans over there in Mark Twain Building. A nice program that she's going to join over there, and I assume or suppose she's going to have a really good career. So congratulations, Raquel, continuing your great success as a volleyball player. And I see she's, as Ken said, she's playing basketball now, so we'll get to see her a little bit more through this rest of this fall and the winter. So congratulations to her and her success, and good luck as she continues at Missouri, University of Missouri at St. Louis.
That's a great call there, TK. You know, phenomenal athlete. I saw her play volleyball. I was like, wow, this girl's got a lot of athleticism. So she definitely deserves to have her shot as FRL Player of the Week.
Yeah, I didn't know that she was playing basketball this year, but excited to see her out on the basketball floor, and good call there, TK, with naming her our Player of the Week. All right, Heavy D, I know Thanksgiving is a big holiday for you, isn't it?
It's a real big holiday, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and good luck to the Redskins this weekend up in Wapak. And great question this week comes from Chickasaw, Ohio. And the listener writes, Dear Mr. D, will you fall victim to turkey coma today? And question part 2, what does Mrs. D do with the leftover turkey?
Great questions.
There's about a 100% chance I'm going to take a nap tomorrow afternoon after turkey, going to my mom and dad's first, and then we're hosting this year from my wife's side. So we're going to pack a lot of turkey into about 3 hours. And leftover turkey is a great question. Mrs. D is a wizard in the kitchen. She's got something that she calls turkey surprise. It's turkey and rice in a casserole. It's really nice. And then a couple days down the road after that, it gets a nice crust on it. She moves it into a turkey gumbo.
Wow.
And
nice.
There's just a lot of things you can do with turkey nowadays. Couple ones I saw here on the intranet, the young kids call it. It's a turkey avocado flatbread. Barbecue turkey sliders, a turkey cranberry melt, turkey tamale pie for our friends south of the border, turkey nachos, you know, the list goes on and on. Turkey, an infinite combination of delicious dishes you can make with that.
Well, you had me at turkey surprise. I don't know what turkey cranberry something or another there.
That turkey casserole was kind of intriguing to me, Heavy. You know, you can tell Foxy H over there, you know, if she's got some of that turkey rice casserole left over, that Ken, he's liable to come over with his own spoon and eat that right off the stove top.
That looks good.
Even cold, that looks awful good.
What was the other one? Turkey nachos?
Turkey gumbo.
Turkey gumbo.
Right.
That's after it cures up. It sets up after a couple days.
That's good stuff right there, Heavy.
All right, I think with that's going to wrap things up for us here. No more turkey talk. We're going to be having enough of that here today. All right, well, that will wrap it up for us here this morning. Do want to say special thanks to our guest, Coach Timmerman, for joining us on the show. Thanks to the viewers out there for tuning in. Ken and I and the crew will all be back again next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
At the fish report, hanging at the fish report, hanging at the fish report, hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pole when you tune in to the fish report, hanging at the fish report.